Hello everyone. Today I want to answer a simple question, and then I gotta go. The simple question is, can my new tools handle sprite sheets? I have... what I have here, I imported all of my animations into Krita, to the timeline. Animation frames, there's frames that aren't animated, they're just different poses. And I need new poses. I want to add one onto the end of this. Because currently I've been working on a 2-month wait cutscene, as you saw in, what, 2 days ago? 2 days ago. You saw on the stream 2 days ago, I was working on this. I said, I'm going to use this frame for now, it's the best I have, but what I actually want is him sitting down and reading. That's a new frame I'm going to want to draw it. I'm going to want to get it into a form where it can go into the game. And what the game uses, because this is all 3D, and I want to be able to render in 3D, and I want to be able to move around in 3D, I don't actually want him over there. If I want someone on the wall, I want to be able to put them on the wall. To make it work in 3D, it's best to use a sprite sheet. So you take all of these images and you sort of stick them all together in one single image. And previously I had done all of this with Flash. But as far as I know, I haven't actually checked. I've switched computers. I'm now working on Linux. I don't know that Flash actually works on Linux. And even if it did, kind of what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to do absolutely everything, like 100% of my process, using open source software. So Flash is out. Music's a bit loud. I was a little worried about that. Let's try that. See how that stacks up. Okay, so as I was saying, and hopefully you could hear, I want to switch to a completely open source process, partially to support open source, partially so that someone who wants to follow in my footsteps does not have to go and buy... well, they're no longer selling it as software that costs a couple $100 with student discounts or whatever. Now they're selling it month by month. But anyway, it's money, it's per month, it adds up to a lot of money, and my thought is open source software is great if you know how to use it, and so I'm going to be trying to use it, and I will explain how I'm doing this, what I'm doing, as I go. So a few things about this animation. We have... I'm just going to open up another to compare. If we set the scale the same, it likes to put it in the top corner, whatever. And we find a frame where the bunny is actually, like, touching the ground.
Our light that must shine upon Hyrule once again.
That's about as close as we're gonna get.
You are now ready.
The idea is that the very center of the character... let's put a new layer so I can mark it.
Words of guidance you have been hearing since your awakening from Princess Zelda
the center point,
Even now,
where,
as she works to restrain
you know, if you go at an angle, you're going to rotate around that point.
calls out for your help.
It's hard to line up. There's a center point of each character that they rotate around. Something like that, except more centered. It's hard to show here. And the very important thing to get right is that each character, the game has to be able to tell where in the image the center point is. And so I've carefully arranged all these frames.
Must save her and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon.
So that the center point is going to be the same distance from the bottom. Some characters have tall ears, or they have tall hats. But the same frame is going to be the same distance away. Oh, it's not even showing distance away from the bottom, it's showing distance away from the top. Yeah, the gentleman has a lot of extra space at the top, but the center point is about this. Well, hopefully exactly. It should be exactly the same distance from the bottom. And so I'm going to. The rule is every time I draw a new frame, I make sure it's the correct distance from the bottom. And then the game can handle it from there. It can find the correct center point. Also, obviously, it's centered horizontally. But leave more space up above for, you know, frames where...
Urbosa's fury is ready.
Oh, I see what's... Yeah, frames where he does that. That's why he needs so much space up there. Because he does a flip.
So, you're finally awake. It has been quite a long time, Link.
Anyway, we're not editing these today. I just want to add a new frame to the angel, somewhere over here. So we've got that many frames, and we're going to add a new frame. And if I can do onion skins, that would be great. Like that. I remembered it this time. Eventually, I will learn how to use Krita better. Also, I need that palette. I want to start drawing lines. This time... Actually, I might not need my drawing tablet for it, because I'm going to try and use... I'm not using the brush, I'm using curves. Yes, and I'm going to be using a brush that's always full size, so it's doesn't get, like, even if I use the drawing tablet, it's always, I can press hard, I can press soft, it's always the same size, because that's how the lines actually are. I can try and copy with the drawing tablet, but if I draw like this, you'll obviously see the difference. So instead, I've got to break out the Bezier curve tool, which is very similar to what I use in Flash. This allows me to it allows me to draw lines, but the problem is it doesn't allow me to edit them. Freehand path tool? Nope. So this is the question I'm trying to answer. There's Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it does work. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a sample Bezier curve. And then, can I take this tool and edit it? Can. Okay, that's exactly what I needed to know. With a tool like this, I can actually, you know, line the lines up. Make smaller adjustments. There's a lot I don't know about Krita. Such as, how do I break this in half now? I want to break this apart to leave room for the arm. I do think I want square-shaped. Maybe circular-shaped. Okay, so circular shape enforces that it's always a smooth. These two handles are always opposite one another, but they can be different lengths if they need to. Square shape, they're always opposite, and they're always the same length. And diamond is they can bend like that, which we don't want. So I'm going to go with circles, I think. There. But I still need to figure out how do I... oh, they've got names. Corner point, smooth point, and symmetric point. And we're going to break at segment. That's what I wanted. Okay. So, now that I've discovered that I can edit these vectors after the fact, I can confirm that Krita will substitute for Flash. I'm going to spend a little more time working on this, but I do want to get to... I am on a limited time, so I will need to show you the other steps in the process and then get back to doing the full image later. Because in fact, I shouldn't even be copying this, I should be copying a graphic of someone sitting. Hello all. I also think we've answered the question of why have my streams by getting fewer and fewer views, and the answer is the timing. It's been, what, 13 minutes, and this is about as active as any of my past 4 streams. Just already. But more active. 1, 2, 4 different people. That's a big number for my stream. Okay, I figured out how to extend it. Yeah, you can usually get their arms in a single... this song, it's from Mega Man 9. Click the link in the description to see what's currently playing on OC Remix Radio. Once you go to OC Remix Radio, you can get a link to Overclocked Remix, which will tell you what it's a remix of and other stuff about it. really do want to break that. I want one of these lines to go past the other. Now I'm trying to figure out why I don't have a handle for this. Like, no matter how I twist this, no handle shows up. It's all just this handle controlling the segment. Which, maybe that'll work, but I want an extra one. Still too loud. Turn it down that much. Earlier they were playing some quieter songs, so that might have been why. But yes, I've noticed my mic is quiet. I can be quiet. Just let me know. We'll get the volume figured out eventually. Unfortunately, overclocked remix songs are great for streaming on YouTube, but they're not candidates for actually going in the game. They're not valid for commercial purposes. I don't monetize these streams, so I'm fine here. I do monetize the game, so can't do that. It does say that, doesn't it? So Tornado Man must have been a boss in Mega Man 9. Okay, we're gonna try this to get a... I don't know. I'm just not able to make this point into a point with handles. Well, I was doing pretty well. Starting to get stumped. Well, there's a simple solution is make another point. Oh no, that's even worse. I thought I could make another point and each new point would be would have handles, but it only has one handle. It's the handle in the wrong direction. There's just no way. This segment right here that I'm grabbing, there, this segment has just permanently become, it only has one handle. I don't know why. In any case, we still have options. Delete some points, grab this one, and just pull it over, and now, like, the segment was broken, but now we've got a fixed segment with a handle. I can adjust as needed. I am wondering... Whoops. Okay, so I can change colors in here somewhere. View. Here we are. So somewhere I should be able to choose colors of lines and other stuff. But I'm not quite sure where. I was hoping it would be tool options, but it's not. Fill, outline, brush. Oh, that's only for new things. Okay. Because the thing is, I'm pretty sure this is black and not the correct color. No, I stand corrected. I filled it with the correct color. And it's indistinguishable. At some point I will want to be able to change that color, but for now, all my lines... it's fine if all my lines are this color. Oh, yes, I want less tint. That's what I want. I think 20% tint is about what I need. Actually, no, I don't want that. I want to do actual circles. And are these vectors? These are vectors, excellent. In theory, they're vectors. Yeah. Oh. Neat. I don't know what that is. There are 2 points to control it, and the second one... I will figure that out at some point. Right now, what I want is to be able to move it, and that must mean I need to switch tools. Cool. I could scale the circle, and the line on the outside will stay the same. It's great to be working with vectors again. So we can get a couple of these. I kind of want the onion skin to be on top so that I can see. I feel like I can't see quite well enough like this. That does it. Excellent. I switched colors. Ooh, I bet what I can do is just click that and get a fill. Oops, better not do it while I've got it selected. I still don't know how to change line names. Line names, line colors. Oh. I can also just do a line. Hang on, I want to go just quickly test something I tested previously. When I choose a brush with dynamic line size and I draw a line, can I make it thinner and wider and have it be a vector? No, it does not look like it. But if I paint on a raster layer, I can get difference. Okay, so that is raster only. Oh, so I don't even have to switch brushes. I can stick with the brush that I use for, regular brushing. Oops. Which is not valid for this layer. and I can do brush strokes if I want. And as long as I'm on a vector layer, I will be working with vectors that will stay constant size. Now that I've got the layers in order, I just noticed this leg is off. So I want to add a couple points. Hello, quick. It's getting in the way. Add an intermediate. Vectors are the tried and true method. Then I guess I have done a lot of, raster brush art on stream, but all of the art in game has been vector art, and there's a good reason for it. Crisp lines, easy to tweak stuff a little. Whoops. Say I think the head roundness is a little off. I just pull a handle a little. Raster graphics are non-vector graphics. They're bitmaps where you're like directly editing the pixels. So I just switched off of the vector layer. That means I'm doing raster. R-A-S-T-E-R. And I zoom in, and I'm editing these individual pixels. I'm editing a bunch of pixels at the time, but I'm editing the pixels themselves. Whereas the vectors are rendered based on math. And that is entirely the wrong color for doing that. Okay, so now we need to figure out how to order them. That's how. Right click. Done. The leg from behind the body must go behind the body. Right, but ideally I would not be copying this by hand. And in fact, I lost sight of my original goal, which was to draw him sitting. So why don't we actually do that? This is a quick one. I will look up a reference before finalizing it. I think this needs to go... I think it needs to go like that, actually. And then I grab all of this. Not that. All of this. I want to move it down so that he's at the correct distance from the ground. But once I do that, I can't copy. I'll leave them up there for now. Oh, yep. Right. The other thing I was going to say is I don't actually want to copy all of this. I would really like to be able to just import. Can Credo open an SVG file? I don't currently have this in SVG format, but I can get it if I need to. It'll take some effort, but less effort than copying it all over. The reason I didn't have it in that format, I did all bitmaps, well, PNGs, but I did it all in raster graphic format. It's because I didn't expect Credo to be able to do vectors so well. Like, I had tested it and I said, okay, so apparently I can do this, but the moment I click it, it's closed and it just fills the thing and you can't edit it. And it was only after starting the stream I realized, oh, hey, you can click on it and edit it. Sorry, what can save as what? Oh, no, I was asking about what it can open. And even if it can't open this, I may be able to figure out, like, maybe even write an extension for it. No, for saving, let's actually talk about saving. Let's draw an eye, nice and quick first. Tool options. We're going to do the eye without an outline. Oops. Ideally, we would actually do a gradient. That I'm definitely going to have to figure out, but if we go back and take a look, there is a gradient here. It's, I'm not sure if I set my mouse to be visible. I will have to double check. But the area, whoops. The area up here is lighter, and actually you can see I chose an average color for this, so I'm painting the same color here, and it appears dark next to the one side of the eye, and it appears light next to the other, barely. Like, you have to look really closely in here. But yeah, it's because the eye is a gradient, and so I'm going to want to be able to do that over here. Select this circle. Currently filled with flat color. Instead, fill it with a gradient. Yes, it can open SVGs. Excellent. So that's going to take some doing because I think I'm going to have to export each SVG one at a time. Because Flash doesn't... Like, Flash exports PNG sequences fine, sure, but that doesn't have vector data, so I'm going to have to just go through frame by frame and export the SVGs. It's still easier than redrawing frame by frame. I'll probably, like, not do that for every frame, just grab a few important frames that I can copy from. Like, get the important poses. Get the sitting pose, get the standing pose. Also going to have to tweak this some more. Okay, that's a better copy. Yeah, I'm copying for now because I just want to show how it works. And for that, I want one new frame. I want to export this with one brand new frame that did not exist prior to the start of this stream. That is the wrong color. And also is missing an outline, I think? It's missing an outline, yes. We're going to start with it not filled. No, that's not correct. Also, it's still the wrong color. I will get this. Start with that. And now dial this back. Realign this. Down a bit. Dial this back. Maybe out a bit. And make it a circle. And now we're going to fill it. We're going to switch tools. Do we have hotkeys for these tools? No, we don't. Going to need to set some hotkeys. Send to back. Oh. I want a pupil. We'll have to set. Okay. And so this is the exact situation in which diamond nodes are required. Because well, it doesn't really show at this scale, but for the shape we want, it's got to be something like that, and it's got to be a sharp turn. Now let's actually zoom out and just scale this up. Oh, it's not semi-transparent, it's just partially behind the other layer. So yeah, you can get a shape like that using these diamond nodes. Isn't that important here, but if I need to do a zoomed in sprite, there it is. And I'm actually going to draw the mouth without a reference because I'm just going to be doing a different mouth. He's thinking. Not that, but once we get this, we can start tweaking. Dial some stuff back. I'm going to add some more points. More points mean we can do something like that. We're going to have them look... Oh, man. You don't nudge this one pixel at a time. You nudge it many pixels at a time. Oh yeah, here's a anti-aliasing. You can't see see those curved lines? You can't see that shape at this resolution, but when you move it around, you can tell that it's that's the underlying shape. It's like it's through a blurred window or something, but you can tell that shape's there. Which does not happen with raster graphics. With raster graphics, you have these pixels, the pixels you see, and you can move those one pixel at a time. Anyway. He is talking, though, isn't he? He is also I guess, whoops, not that. Yeah, I'm not quite looking for unhappy, I'm looking for focused. If I put something up there, I can do a narrowed eye. But, I can't actually do that just by editing the circle because you can't edit circles like that. Actually, I can. Okay. Hang on. We're going to do this the proper way. Or a... There we go, to path. And now, we can add a few more points, and... Why is it snapping? Slightly more neutral. Something like that. And layers. There we are. And now I want to copy that over. No, first I want to move the mouth back to where it... Yeah, maybe that. No guarantees on the update, but... Well... Back when I was updating the Flash version, the reason I stopped updating was because I ran out of cutscenes. The next stage of the cutscene was going to take a long while, because they were building a whole rocket. So, back then, back when Flash wasn't about to die, having a next section of the cutscene available meant I had a release to do. Now, I also need to make sure the HTML5 version is up to date on this. I think with this done, I will be getting the HTML5 version, like, getting all the content back into it. Once the content is back into it, we can once the content is all back into it, I can see about a release. Okay, I just want to copy that color. Now I want to do a Bezier curve, and I want to go all the way down to a single pixel. Oh, we're about to find out something else new and interesting. I want to make a... I want to... Wait. Oh. Oops, I just drew that on a raster layer, and so it became raster. I'm gonna draw... Whoops. Wrong tool. Let's see, to get to this cutscene, we don't need Pastafarian. We don't need mid-air boxes. We just need the Angels minigame to work. And any of the fancy cutscenes I did in this direction. Actually, I bet we can use squares for these. Symmetrical. Alright, I was going to say earlier that when I get this, for this ring, there's a hole cut in the middle of it. And I want to do a fill, but I don't want to fill the hole. So I can do a fill that's honestly not the perfect color for the fill. Oh. Gradient tool. No? Well, I was hoping it would fill it. I can't use that. Ouch. I was hoping that's how you would do a gradient. I'm actually going to copy a lighter color. I've been using a darker color this whole time. Probably the color from up here. Close to that. I think I picked that color, like when I was doing a solid color for the ring. I probably picked it as kind of an average between the lighter yellow of the main ring and the darker outline. Ooh, look at that. Found it, finally. It is in the tool options, but it's in tool options for the select shapes tool. There we are. Type linear, repeat none. Stop. Okay. I need to select the actual correct colors. I may need to copy down their hex codes. I bet it's supposed to be pure yellow. Pure yellow. back to this gradient. Tool options. Actually, I'm using this so much, I'm moving tool options. Or I would move it if I could. Does that close it? Oh no, it splits it. Excellent. Yeah, I'm going to move it in here so I have access to both layers and tool options. Okay, so over here we're going to input yellow. And what we end up with is a gradient pretty similar to the original. Can I do a 1.5 pixel stroke? Kind of. Like I saw it for a moment. Or was that just a 2 pixel? It's capable of rendering it, it just doesn't want to. You see it render it for a few seconds before it snaps back to a whole number. Anyway, I will stick with the 1 pixel. What we want now is going to grab the color from here again. I think. Yeah, that's a... Okay, that's gotta be it, rounded. Okay, so we're going to draw an inner ring, and so what we're going to try and do to make it work is we're going to subtract one shape from the other shape. And the handles are really close in on those ends because it's almost like corners. Wider over here. Oops. Okay, and now we select both of these and logical operations. Subtract. That did not work, so I'm going to try selecting them in the opposite order. Outer one, then inner one. Subtract. Look at that. Well, it's technically still editable, it's just not... It's just now a bunch of line segments. It's less than ideal. So it kind of works. I do now have a shape that I can edit and that's got this gradient. Speaking of gradient, I want it to not repeat. Repeat? Oh, it doesn't repeat. Okay, I don't know what it was doing then. I'm never actually going to expand it like that, but... Oh, I see. No, it's just, there's an image above it, that's why it looked weird. So yeah, now I have a vector of this thing, and I can, if I need to, I can push the inside and outside edges around, and the gradient will fill in the space in between. I guess as long as we've got all these points, we can sort of we can move them a little so that some of them are like hidden behind others. We get a little more of a hint of 3D. These points are aiming downwards. How am I doing on time? I should probably finish up and show you how I plan to turn these into a working sprite sheet. How does that look anyway? You can barely see that detail I just added, but overall not bad. I'll take it. Not without interference. Oh. Oh, no, you can very much see the detail. In fact, I can dial that back, and it'll still be visible. Yeah, it's a little more 3D now. And if I want to tweak it some more, I can, because it's still a vector. Alright, but before I finish up, I want... Well, first, see this arm? It cuts off a little sharply. I'm just going to head in here and choose a rounded cap, and now it's less sharp. I'm going to do the same for this. No, I'm just going to do the same for everything. Rounded cap. Oops. Nope, that adds a line to things that didn't previously have a line, so we're going to do it to everything that had a line. I can't really see the caps on most of it, but now this bit is round and this bit is round, and that's how it's supposed to be. Oops. For simplicity's sake, I am just going to edit one other arm. So this arm, we're actually going to bring it in front. And like that. And we're going to reorient it something like that. A little more of an angle down. Something like that. I was considering putting infinite mode on the map, yes. I made a graphic or two for it, I think, and I assume that's why you're asking, because it was found in the files in the same folder as other stuff on the map. It's not the plan now. I do have plans for infinite mode. I just have so much other stuff to do. And then we add brush. We add one of these and we put it behind the arm. I found it. Okay. So I figured out why I couldn't get handles on these. It's apparently there are curve points and line points, and if you don't put handles on them to start with, they end up being line points, and so you got to go through and you got to click. Selected. Oh, it is already a curve point, apparently. Maybe I got to convert it back and forth. Okay, convert it back and forth, and I got handles on both sides. Now I can do a sheet of paper with a little bit of curve to it. Oh, it's a little exaggerated, but... I could put some writing on it or something. I mean, it could be his list. Oh, not currently. But it could have been the piece of paper with his list. Okay, we're about done. Just got to go back and do this step that I was going to do earlier of play some ground. I'm actually going to tweak his foot a little more so that it doesn't clip through the floor at all. Or his leg. Turn off onion skinning for a bit, and we see the frame. That's a mistake. Oh no. I was kind of warned about this. Vector layers apparently don't have frames. Yeah, no. Okay, that's a big problem. I was very much hoping this wouldn't be the case. That's why there isn't onion skinning. I'm not certain what to do about that. I mean, I can make a copy and I can flatten the layer, and this copy oops, no, I don't want to do that. The copy keyframe so I can make a raster copy and then... Wait, what? Oh. Oh, that's what. Okay, keyframes. Insert a keyframe. Actually, I don't even need to do that. Skip inserting the keyframe. Go over here. There is a keyframe. Grab it, drag it. Slowly. Okay. Drag it a little bit, scroll. Grab it again. Just pull it all the way to the end. Pull it to there. And then we merge the layers. And so now we have a vector copy. We have a vector copy with all the pieces. We have a raster copy. The raster copy plays nice with the animation timeline. It's not great, but it is what it is. Okay, I feel like I want to push the paper over a little, so let's see how hard it is to make a change and then apply it. I want to push the paper over that far. Copy. Move to new layer. Hide the old layer. Delete that. Paste. It's a vector. Okay, we can't copy paste as raster. Well, Well, okay, we're going to duplicate, we're going to... yeah, okay, Krita calls it a paint layer. Whatever, that works too. We're actually going to... we're just gonna... no, we're not. We're going to cut it. Select all, cut, layer 1, delete that. So, now if we paste, same problem. That doesn't, okay, well. So we're pretty close. This is raster format. I can paint on this with a brush tool. The problem is that it covers every frame, and I need to just get it to the final frame. And currently, how I've been doing that is clicking and dragging a long ways. I can actually change the scale here. Oh, that's why. Okay, one more try. Flatten layer. Keyframe doesn't show up, that's... I don't know, you just insert a keyframe and remove it. And now you've got something you can grab and drag, and you can merge down, and... well, that's a hassle. So hopefully by next stream I will have figured out a much simpler way to do this. Oh, hey, he is missing wings. I was hoping to be done here. Yeah, I forgot down in skinning. We'll just use the layer itself. Because the vector layer appears everywhere. It doesn't care about the timeline. I think I decided 4 pixels was the ticket. Okay, yes. As I recalled, the wings use a solid black outline. First of all, let's get those settings. Let's actually do that. And that, for some reason, jumped back to where it used to be, so I'm gonna move it again. This over here needs a fill. We're gonna tweak it a little. Got you through many boring days at school, and now you get to learn. Oh. Maybe if you take graphic design class, you can say that this game is counts as studying. I want this to be a circle. I think. Maybe this too. So it goes something like that, and we're going to put it right about there. Okay. Can't forget that. I'm capable of forgetting that. I'm physically capable, and I've proved that several times over. So yeah, insert keyframe. Oh, there it goes. Then just undo. And this keyframe will have appeared, and we can put it over there. And we can delete that. We can merge that down. Before we merge it down, let's put the opacity back to normal. Now we merge it down. We have a lot of frames that work without any missing parts. That seems a little too sharp of an edge there, so I'm gonna just fix it with a brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export as I'm not sure I'm exporting. I'm rendering an animation. I'm going to export this overwriting all of the previous frames that existed here, which is got a whole set of them. And it's the frames. In fact, it's the frames that I imported. We're going to export and overwrite them. They're the same, and oh hey, I told it to export 100 frames of animation, and the actual frames stop at 89. And then just it's the last frame over and over again. So over here I've got a bunch of extras, and I'm just going to delete them. Next time maybe I will export the correct number. So I have these images. What do I do with them? I don't want those images. I want... if you recall from earlier in the stream, I want this. Except I want that with... like, these are the same icons, but that's the last one. Got the kick. All those there. I want to take this format. I want to put it together like this, and notice how much less room these take up, how compact they are. In the... I shouldn't have closed it, but in here, each of them has buffer space around them, and actually it's more than it looks like. It's this much buffer space. Which is okay for working. It's okay for spacing them, but oh hey, I still got this open. But it's not great for a sprite sheet because the more pixels you take up, the more memory it takes up once loaded. Like it's not compressed once you load it for rendering. We don't need those transparent pixels. We just need to know where they were. Like, I talked previously about how there's always a set distance from the bottom including transparent pixels, to the center of the character. And that also means there's a set distance from the bottom of the image to where ground should be. So I want to cut out the transparent pixels, but I want to keep that information of how many transparent pixels there were, especially on the bottom, but also right and left because I need to center it. I don't really care about the top, but I need information about 3 sides. And Flash could do this, Flash Pro, but I want to go fully open source, and so part of prepping for the stream was, can I find a free thing that will do that? And I did eventually. Game Dev Utils, Sprite Sheet Packer. And if we add... Oh, I'm going to need to move the files into the correct spot. Yeah, let's just open all of those. And it packs them differently, certainly. I don't know if it's better, but for the most part, you can see there's, like, up until it almost skips an entire space. Okay, so I can do it like this if I need to. so it's missing a few frames at the end here. If we use the... Oh man, this is less efficient. Okay, it fit fewer things. I will need to double check. The old... Okay, so the old image uses these exact dimensions. And it all almost fits into half of it. You almost save half the thing. Yes, I use Linux. Ubuntu. Ubuntu? However you pronounce it. And it's out of order. I actually don't care about that. And I'll go over why. Yeah, I have to leave too pretty soon. But yeah, I just load up this. So this thing, open source, available online, like works in your browser, so it works on any computer. A lot of nice stuff about it. It's currently missing the option to drag and drop, which is a pain, but it does have. So the important thing, the thing I spent all that time talking about, is trim mode. And if you enable trim mode, then it will trim out all of these unnecessary transparent pixels and pack things nice and tight. And gonna hit publish. Actually, I'm not gonna hit publish. I'm going to name this and hit publish. I know the song just from the name. It's a Sonic remix, I think, right? The Wingless Buteau? No. Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was a Sonic remix because I don't actually know the game it's from. Okay, so, actually I should show you. It gave me a zip file to download, and I unzipped it, and we have this here. Got two things. We have sprite sheet, sprites, including the brand new one. All of the poses, all of the everything. It also came with a JSON file. This data could be in a couple different formats, CSS, JSON, XML. I like JSON because I am programming with it, and JSON is easy to program with. And if we take a look at that, it has a bit of data for every single frame. First, it has data about where this frame is found just in the overall image. So the very first frame, 0000, has these coordinates, 745, 774, so it's sort of diagonally from the start. At least in theory. I'm kind of thinking this is it. Anyway, it gave us the coordinates. It gave us the width and the height. It also gave us how much space it trimmed off. Well, specifically, it gives us the original dimensions before trimming, but we can do some subtraction, figure out how much it trimmed off, and we can use these to figure out how much was from the top left We can just add and subtract some stuff and get the information we need. And so with all of this information, I can program it to take, like, load up when it needs to display this frame here. It loads the correct pixels out of this and then offsets them by the correct amount so that he is just on the ground. And then when the animation continues, it switches to the next frame. Different X and Y, similar width and height, but might be slightly different. Slightly different offsets as well. And that is pretty much all programmed. I will just need to account for a slightly different format of JSON. It uses the same numbers, but the names here are slightly different. Stuff like that. And then it'll be just about good to go. So maybe in a bit I will actually have this sprite in that cutscene. And with that, I do believe we're done here. And I will see you later.